to stay that way.
Roman Vago, Soul Provider, taking us to 2:15 p.m. East Africa time. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for choosing Hero Radio for a fresh breath of music and Nakuru's most popular radio station. This is Hero Drive with me, Kate Vobic. And being on a Wednesday, it's all about Dr. Love and the Vobic's Palace. Before I introduce my crew, I just want to put, I don't know if I'll say a disclaimer or what, because I know everything is just becoming hotter day by day. We've been hyping it the whole day. It's all about this week, why won't he introduce me to his buddies? This is a question that is bothering so many ladies and men, but ladies to be precise. So why won't he introduce? So let me just introduce my love doctor, that is Councillor Sam.
Wow, thank you, Kate. How are you?
I'm blessed.
Wow, I can see you're really blessed. You know, like I'm just, when I talked to you on Monday, I was very worried about your health because you told me you're not feeling well. But I'm actually happy to see that you know, you look healthy, you look strong. I wish I had someone to introduce you to.
Okay, are you trying to bail yourself out or what?
No, I'm just trying to tell the guys out there, I have enough reasons to tell them why they are not introduced.
Okay, and together with us, we are privileged to be joined by a very beautiful lady who is so much into this topic today. And I'm talking about Anne Mboro. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Kate. I'm happy to be here today. And I also came to assist you. You know we are victims in things, eh? Yes, we want Dr. Love to tell us why these guys are not introducing us to their friends.
Okay, that's the topic that everyone has really been waiting for. Remember, you can interact with us. Call us on 0713 999 SMS us on 0725 644 653. I now throw everything to you. Why can't you men introduce us?
That's a very wonderful question, and I really love the way, like, everybody is just waiting to know why they can't be introduced. And I remember last time when I was like introducing this topic, there is something I mentioned. When we're talking about why you're not getting introduced, the first thing is to ask yourself, who are you to be introduced? It really hurts a lady.
Even if it's a girlfriend.
Like, yeah. even if it's a girlfriend, the question is, who are you to be introduced? Because basically there are merits and standards as that dictate why someone should be introduced. And basically, as a guy, I'll want to introduce someone I'm comfortable with. I'll want to introduce someone I have hope in. I want to introduce someone whom I believe if I introduce them, I'm actually like focusing on my future. So if you look at yourself and within the three categories, you find that there are some questions, then there is always a reason for you not to be introduced.
Dr. Love.
Yeah.
You've said that the main question here is why I should be introduced.
Yes.
Who is being introduced?
Who is being introduced?
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah.
As your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you have given me all the reasons to believe that I am your girlfriend. And being the lady that I am, I know here is the man that I'm supposed to be referring to as my boyfriend. Don't you think I already qualify to be,
And I think I'll just add to what Anne is asking. Does that mean when you don't introduce me, I've not convinced you enough?
That is the question. Then why am I your girlfriend?
You see, there's the tendency for us to preempt some of these facts. And it really happens, especially when you start feeling like you're getting comfortably into the cocoon of feeling that you are someone's girlfriend. You know, like a guy.
Can you just try and censor your words, by the way, because we are trying to do what? So I'm the one. You're the one who is doing favor to me when we are dating.
Actually,
Look,
it's not.
By the time I get myself into that cocoon, you are the one who has given me the reasons to feel that way. So even before we go any further, I already have an assurance that this is the man. So I will feel like the girlfriend that I'm supposed to be.
Now, a relationship has its own foundations. And one of the biggest foundation is the trust. And it is about now, trust is built out of expression. So, number one, this guy may be presuming you to be just a side chick. You know, like he has someone serious in his life. And you see, when you are a side chick,
I think today you've loaded yourself.
Yeah, you see, when you are a side chick, this guy has all the reasons not to introduce you, because the moment he introduces you as the girlfriend, then basically he has committed, yet he doesn't want to commit. So what is happening here? as a side chick, everything is happening to you as you expect. A chick wants to be treated well, wants to be taken out for dates, wants to be given everything that she wants. She wants actually to be pampered. But look at this. This guy is just giving you that opportunity to be pampered, but you are not, in his heart, you are not a girlfriend. What you are,
What
you are
am I?
just a friend. Okay? And basically because you fall under the category of being a lady, then basically you get everything that a lady would require from a boyfriend. So that does not necessarily mean or stamp the idea that you are his girlfriend.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Let me try and understand men, but it's hard on my side since I'm a chick. Yeah? Let me just try and understand men. Does that mean you don't introduce me because you're learning me? And you want to be confident that this is the woman I want to be with as a girlfriend? Because if you ask me, a girlfriend might be a long-term thing or a short-term, but I need to be introduced at that juncture.
And this is where now, as I answer you, Kate, this is where now we have a problem. When do we actually prove that I am someone's girlfriend? Because being a friend and being a girlfriend are two things. What weight are you laying in the word girlfriend? You know, like, you are my friend, and so you are my girlfriend. That does not necessarily mean we have any relationship apart from being friends. So until you distinguish between being a friend and being in a relationship that can lead to intimacy, that's when now you start thinking of yourself as a girlfriend. If we do not know how to demystify the two.
Apparently,
Yeah.
there are those who are already in that category of intimacy, as you put it. But the guys will not just introduce them.
Aha, this is where now, after just telling you that maybe you could be his side chick, that is one aspect. The other aspect is the intimacy part. Comes in because the guy will not introduce you because simply he thinks you are just good for sex.
Okay, hold it there now. We'll come back after that. Kindly interact with us. 0713999227. That's my call line. SMS us on 0725644653. Go to our page. That is the Vobic's Palace. Like the page. The interaction is there. This calls for something. Okay, to all the ladies, introduced or not, you're one in a million. Zion and Mystic, one in a million, taking us to 2:26 p.m. East Africa time. Hero Radio 99.0 for a fresh breath of music, and Nakuru's most popular radio station, Hero Drive, with me, Kate Vobic, and it's time for the Vobic's Palace. The topic of the day: why won't he introduce you to his buddies? As I said, my name is Kate Vobic, joined by Dr. Love.
Hi.
Counselor Sam, ladies don't want to see you today. Anyway, and we are joined by Anne Mboro.
Thank you.
You know, Kate, wacha nikuchekeshe. This topic has really generated a lot of hate out there.
I know. Utatandikwa na mawe huko
There are some
nje.
ladies who are looking for me.
Wanakungoja na mawe huko nje.
There are some ladies who are looking for me. Like, they just want to see this doctor before actually he goes for the show. And I'm happy because actually it appears a lot, you know, everything that is happening is here for the good of these ladies, for these guys, so that they can run their relationship.
Let's
Now,
start
we just
here.
say-
Let's start here.
Yeah.
You talked about maybe that man is with me for sex only.
Yeah, and actually, what happens is, like, men are usually sexual beings, very active sexual beings. So basically, if you present yourself in a way or suggestively in a way to say, I'm always available for you, then there is what we call sex out of convenience. So basically, your friendship is generating into intimacy. Now, I'm using the word friendship because until when he feels comfortable to introduce you to his buddies, then that's when you can be rest assured there is something going on.
Then let me ask you.
Yeah.
When am I supposed to know that he's now comfortable?
Um,
Am I supposed to just sit and tell myself, okay, the guy is now comfortable, he can introduce me? When am I supposed to tell myself this is the time?
you see, when you get into
know, and like us, you know, we ladies, the moment I am in love,
Yes.
Yeah.
I fall in love.
Yes,
Yeah.
completely.
Completely. I am very sure about
Yes.
this. Daktari, the next thing I want to do is to climb by the rooftop of KICC,
And scream to
which
the
is
whole
the tallest
world
building.
that this
There's
is the
another
man of
please,
my life.
Let me be told.
Yeah.
And tell the entire world that this is the man.
Yeah.
Tell your fellow girls, please, when you come across this one, close your eyes. Don't look at this one. I want to be introduced also.
Yeah.
Why can't you just do it?
No, that's a very good question. And actually, when ladies are expressing that feeling that I need to be introduced, I feel so high, I'm at the peak of the world when I know I have this boy, then it means definitely you have identified quite a number of expectations that have been met, especially
Correct.
your own personal expectations that have been met. But when you realize that just a simple expectation like an introduction is not happening, that does not prove to you as a lady that he's interested in you. So when I talk about being like conveniently there for sex, then it means this guy has been able to like show you he's willing to have you. And you know too well he's never introduced you before. And possibly you think in your mind, by giving into sex or into intimacy, maybe I'll be affording the chance to be introduced. That's where we go wrong.
Okay, there's a listener who is asking you a question here. Hi, Kate and Dr. Love Namgeni, Anitwa Ann. Kindly help me. I mean a helter-skelter manner. There's this guy I've been dating for a while. He has managed to introduce me to the brothers, all the siblings, and some of the friends. I did the same by doing to all my siblings and my parents, but he has not introduced me to the parents. What's happening? I had confidence since he introduced me to the siblings and all his immediate friends, but it's not always. What will happen? What will I do so that I can be introduced to the parents and now I seal the deal?
Wow. The lady, actually, I congratulate her.
Okay, and why you laughing?
Yeah, I appreciate the lady. Yeah.
The lady wants to seal the deal.
Every lady wants to do that.
Every lady wants to do that.
Did you get the story?
I got it, yeah.
You know,
I got it, and I understood.
You've been
her.
introduced to,
Yeah, to all
like
the
on my side, I've
siblings,
introduced to
friends,
everyone,
yeah.
plus
To
my
the brothers,
mom
apart
and
from the
dad.
parents,
and
yeah.
everyone
But
else.
there's parents, yeah.
Yeah. Now, as I respond to this lady, there's one thing I want to tell her, that in as much as she wants to seal the deal, she shouldn't think that it will just happen as fast as she wishes without the guy approving the deal to be sealed. Number one, this guy, remember, even after introducing you to his siblings and to his friends, after that introduction, there's a lot of feedback he's going to get from these people. And remember,
So he's waiting for feedback.
No, not actually waiting for feedback. And possibly he's been getting the feedback already. And what is happening is he's evaluating the kind of feedback he's getting. Remember, he has to be very cautious about whom he is bringing in the family, because all these people need to support his relationship and his marriage after it is done. Okay? So basically, the brothers and the friends form the basic people, the secondary people that you can introduce your girlfriend to. By the time you're reaching to your parents, you've already made a concrete decision.
But the lady did that. You want to tell me the lady was not sure? The
Again,
lady just
Kate,
went direct
again,
and introduced
there
the
are no
parents.
siblings who will not approve of that relationship. You don't expect the whole lot to give a tick.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And this is where now I was actually heading to, if the lady has already introduced the guy
To the family
To-
and
to
even
the
the
family,
parents.
to the
parents.
even
Yes.
to the parents, then good for her. She should also
Guy.
allow the guy.
That's good for her. And
Yeah.
then your heart is
Only good
heartbroken
for
and then you
her.
take
Yeah.
another man to your parents. Seriously.
Let's agree on this.
Uh-huh.
She did it at her own pace. Then
Because she's
possibly,
ready.
possibly, yeah, she's ready.
She's ready for this thing.
She's ready.
Yes.
She's told the man she's ready. Has the man told her that he's ready? That is the big question.
What
that is
has
not
he
being
been
answered
doing
here.
all along?
No, you see, there's no way you can preempt what you have not been told. And this is where I talk about fortune telling or being, like, do not be a fortune teller. Remember, the stakes are high here. There's a guy here who is going to contribute 100% of his availability to this relationship. And there is the lady. So as you do your things as fast as you can, he also has his own pace. Have you understood his pace? If you have not understood it, take time to understand it.
No, I think it
Because-
is the guy who is
no.
not understanding the pace here.
And you see, when you move the guy very fast, then the question is, what is
You know
the
why
intention?
I'm saying so?
Because
Dr.
remember,
Love.
Anne, remember, in our African culture, we do not, as men, we do not really appreciate a girl who hits on a guy and goes for him. We only appreciate a guy who hits on a lady and goes for her. So when you
that is
are
the
very
problem with
fast, when
this
you are very
culture.
fast, the guy is left wondering, okay, after this move, what are you after? Because it is from that point when you start pushing so hard, he will now start thinking
You're
becoming
desperate.
a nagging person.
Okay, let me ask
or
this.
desperate.
Let me ask this.
Yeah.
Are ladies easy to introduce, or when you just fall in love? Because everyone, the percentage wise, like let's talk about 98% to
Yeah,
be precise.
yeah.
Every lady will introduce.
Yeah.
No matter, will not even think quickly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So are we ladies quick into doing it, and men take time to digest everything?
What I would say, in addition to just what you've said, is that ladies, the moment they feel secure with a guy, they believe now that everything
This is the one.
is okay. Okay? But the guy is still maybe evaluating quite a number of things. And if you are not having time to talk about everything in your relationship, then basically you'll be moving faster and the guy will be moving slowly. So eventually, who will be a loser? Both of you. Both of you.
Let's look at it from
Yeah.
this angle.
Uh-huh.
We have known each other for quite some time. We started dating.
Yeah.
By the time we are getting to the introduction part, you introduce me to your siblings. That already communicates something to me. I take the next step of introducing you to my siblings. It seems we are reading from
Yeah,
the same
at
script.
par.
We are
Yeah.
at par. We are somewhere. Now, why should
What's
it
the
be
loophole?
like?
Where is
why
the
he
loophole
taking
coming
too
in
long?
to
By the
parents?
time I am going to introduce him to my parents, something should be communicated into his head that we should be somewhere by now.
Yes.
Now, there's one thing I caution people in relationships. The moment you get into a relationship does not make you an automatic psychologist. That when that simply because things are happening, then you read things written in your own language and you think the other person is understanding. Okay? So
That is
what I'm
serious.
saying, so what I'm saying is,
Did you say we should not become what?
you don't become automatic psychologists.
psychologists.
Yeah.
Hi, ladies.
So do not,
Tunaona shida, eh?
do not,
Naona tabu.
yeah, do not preempt what you have not been introduced to. For example, it was nice for the lady to introduce the guy to her parents, but it is not yet right for the guy to introduce the lady to his parents.
Why
That is where
not?
the lady should be asking the guy, or she should actually request the guy to really reveal whatever is happening in his heart in regard to introducing her to the parents. So until they have had that conversation or that talk about exactly what are the plans that the guy has with the lady, we still can't preempt about exactly what his plans are. We do not know.
Let me ask.
Yeah.
By the time this guy was being introduced to the ladies, the parents,
Yeah.
I am sure they must have talked about it. He was not bulldozed into visiting. He must have been told
And then
on
with
Sunday
your
we
right
shall be
sense,
going.
let's just be human.
Yeah.
Let's
With
be
your
human.
right sense, you follow me to my parents.
And,
Yeah.
and you
allow
know
me
too
to
well we are going
introduce
to our
you.
parent
And
home.
parents are not people you joke around.
Yes.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
as a man, okay, seriously, me see feel,
Yeah.
one should not tell me, just wait.
Yeah.
Actually,
When I'm going-
angemwambia kitambo, let's do this. This is not the right time to go visiting parents.
Yes.
Because parents
Let's
are
wait.
such a sensitive
But
area
when
in our
you're
lives.
comfortable,
Wait.
it's like, yeah. And as a lady, what do you expect? Anyway, we'll be coming back and tackling that. But I'm sure there's another point that we are not tackling.
Definitely.
The positive part
Yeah.
of me not being introduced.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're just capitalizing on the negative. Eh?
Ladies, don't worry, we are here for you.
Yes. So keep
Worry
calling us
not.
on 0713999227. SMS us on 0725 644 653. Hit us on our Facebook. My Twitter handle at Kate Vobic. We have the official one, Kate Vobic still.
Yeah,
The
Vobic's
Vobic's
Palace,
Palace.
yeah.
And go to our page. That is the Vobic's Palace. And the interaction is there. Keep talking to us because right now we feel like it's all about lemonade.
Hey, please.
A woman in love, a woman in love.
Vivian, A Woman in Love, taking us to 2:44 p.m. East Africa time. Just interacting and loving the topic. Remember, we are talking about why would he introduce you to his buddies. Hero Radio 99.0. My name is Kate Vobic and a Hero Drive, still kwa the Vobic's Palace, and I'm joined by Madam Anne.
Yes, my name is Anne.
Together with our hater of the day.
Great. I've become the hater of the day.
greatest enemy.
Anyway, I'm here to represent.
That is Dr. Love,
I'm
Councillor
here to
Sam.
represent great lovers, people who know and want to love.
But today you've just decided to be on our case.
I am actually sharing the truth about what exactly happens.
Dr. Love, can't you just decide to feel what ladies are feeling
Yes.
like? Can't you just
I-
decide
I-
to feel
ni
us?
kupenda hampendi. Wacha tu niweke kwa lugha ya Kiswahili haya, wacha niweke tuache na kimombo kiasi, si ndio? Ni kupenda hampendi kupendwa, ama mnachukulia mapenzi kiuholela holela. Ni nini hampendi kama wanaume?
Kate, I don't want to go personal. However, I just want to let you know this. In love, there are two things that define what love between men and women.
What is it?
Between the brain and the heart. When a woman falls in love, she falls in love with her heart.
Completely, with the whole of it.
And so it is the moment.
So in short, you say we don't think.
No, you do
When we
think,
fall in
but you know, a thought creates a feeling. So that feeling is now is transported to the heart.
Yes,
The
heart
moment
is the
it is in the
storage.
heart, then it generates an action. Then that action ends up being a result. So you feel, you think, you feel, then you act, and eventually you have the result. Now, men think after they see, they develop the desire to love. Okay? They get attracted to a lady. Maybe because she's very beautiful, she's very pretty. Maybe because she has a very curvaceous body. Maybe she has a very good voice. Maybe she has, like everything that will make her become the kind of lady he wants to have as a girlfriend, not a wife material.
Okay, that calls for this. Someone is saying, hi, Dr. Love. Thank you so much for the topic. I have a problem. I'm the opposite of the one who asked the question. My husband,
Yeah.
my husband has introduced me to everyone, precisely the whole family. But he will never, as he said, introduce me to his friends. Ni kurogo ama ni?
This is a husband, not a boyfriend. A husband.
Uliniolea wazazi ama?
Now,
Swali ni, are there things you're fearing about by introducing your
friends
spouse to
or
your
what?
friends? What really is the problem?
this is where now we actually I love this debate because it is actually conceptualizing everything in regard to what happens in people's relationships. When a man doesn't want to introduce you to his friends, there are two sides of the coin. Number one, he is either so much into you that he feels
You'll
if
be
he introduces
snatched.
you, you'll be snatched away.
And I think that's what Janet Mwangi kwa page alikuwa anasema, because you might be so on point that the fear you might be snatched away from him.
And number two is that he thinks if he introduces you, you'll get to know his secrets out there. So what does he do? He keeps you off from introductions.
I am the wife here, and I thought I am the one who's supposed to be knowing your secrets. So there are those other secrets that you share with your friends that I'm not supposed to know.
Do you know?
And you're too scared that in case I come out there, I will know more about it.
Honestly, I can tell you for sure, everybody have their secrets. Number one, if a man is an outgoing guy, like he's adventurous or he has, boyfriends out there are stuff that they discuss and do out there by themselves. So basically, these forms a group of his friends. So if at any one point they entertain themselves with side chicks, don't expect to be introduced. Because honestly,
Well, I see where you are coming from.
Because honestly, if he introduces you to these guys, you may develop a close friendship with one of his friends, and the truth will start leaking out.
Okay,
So
here
for
comes
him to
another
defend
question for
his
you.
The truth will still leak out. I will know about
Here
it
comes
anyhow.
another question for you.
Yeah.
Hi, Vobic. Thank you so much, Dr. Love. Okay, I can't say the word. Kindly help me. My case is so different. There's some censors. I just have to keep censoring. Allow me to paraphrase the whole thing, because there are words I can't go on air with. Hey, you're calling your husband your nigger. Anyway, me, I'm introduced to half and half not. When it comes to friends, their friends I'm introduced and their friends I'm not introduced. Do you think my guy is fishy? And the ones he's not introducing me to, they have something in common, ama a chips funga somewhere. Please help me. You better not introduce me to either, or stop introducing me to half of the crew.
Let me appreciate the listener for actually posing that question. And in regard to that question, there's something, there's a simple quote that says, curiosity killed the cat. And it so happens that most of the times, until you run the character of your husband and you realize there are some, there are some bits that you need to connect the joints, the dots by yourself. That's when you start having so many questions as to why am I not being introduced to so and so, and I'm being introduced to so and so. But basically, when you get into a relationship, it should always be a fair play, yeah, so that each one of you feels comfortable.
That's true.
Possibly, as you request, as you pressure the husband to really introduce you to some of his friends that he feels uncomfortable, it is always tenable for you to really ask from him, how comes you've introduced me to these friends
and you
you've
be
not
real, Dr. Love, you be real.
Yeah, and you've not introduced me to this other type of friends.
Do you think that is
what
practical?
exactly is happening in these two teams of friendships? Because honestly, until you ask the right question, you'll never get the right answer.
Dr. Love, I think you have so many questions here that I may not be able maybe to tackle. This might calls for a part B or a part 2. Eh? Someone is saying my introduction, Kate, is always the weird one. When he wants to introduce me, he will call me baby. But when he doesn't want, Jina kanatamba. Ama mama nani. That's not introduction. Mi hata siyuko tu kwa hii dunia, juu wangu yenyewe ako dunia yake.
Kate, there's something we call friend zoning. Friend zoning is whereby you can be married, but your husband does not still perceive you as the wife in quotes. He still perceives you as a friend. He has zoned you as a friend. You may be
Even
his
after
girlfriend.
marriage.
You may be a girlfriend. And in your friendships, you really even go out dating, like roving and all this kind of stuff. But the problem is, he hasn't still given you that opportunity to be the girlfriend. You're still a friend. So he has zoned you. So what will happen in this kind of a situation is that he will always never want to introduce you. And basically, even when he calls you, he'll call you by name. Not even by dear or sweetheart or darling, no. He'll just call you by name. Kate, meet John.
Or by your baby's
And he's
name.
never using the words, this is my girlfriend. Like I said initially, there is the aspect of introducing a girlfriend for the purpose of commitment. If he's not interested in committing, he will only be introducing you like weirdly as the listener is saying. And that again will bring out the understanding of, am I really his girlfriend or what is happening with me? She's in her own world, he's in his own world. Until they understand in what worlds they both are in and they develop their own mutual world to live together. That's it.
Dr. Allow me to ask this question before I forget.
Please.
Okay. I have heard what you've said.
Yes.
For the sake of the ladies out there and including ourselves, when do I tell that my guy is, or I qualify to be this special woman
When is a
in
man
his
ready?
life? When is he ready?
Now we are
so that we
confused.
eliminate all this confusion,
Yes,
and this curiosity, as you called it, and the psychological things that you talked about.
No, but
They don't
today
become my
you've really called us
psychologist.
so many things.
You've called us names today, and we accept. Thank you very much. When do I tell that I
My
now
guy is
qualify?
ready.
I have met the standards of becoming the girlfriend, or maybe the future wife?
Let me first of all say something, and it's some sort of like a disclaimer. When I'm talking about someone being an automated psychologist, I'm not actually referring to the lady or the guy. What I'm doing is these two people should not become mind readers or fortune tellers. Both of them.
You're bailing yourself out.
And actually, I wouldn't want anyone to feel a victim of the situation. What we are trying to do is to ensure if I'm not being introduced as a lady, what should I be looking into? And I think that is where Anne is coming in so strongly to ask, what should I actually, or when will I ever know
It's the right
that
time.
It's the right time.
Yes.
Now, remember, when you both get into a relationship, you have your personal or individual interests. He has his own too.
Correct.
Now, if you both do not sit down to understand, these are my interests, these are my expectations, this is the time frame I've given myself to understand exactly whether you can meet my expectations and my interests. Then after you have delineated, you've understood that he needs 1 year or 2, and that's why you find people dating for 1 year, 8 years, whatever the period, because there is something he's assessing or she's assessing.
Okay.
Then there is the question of building mutual interest and mutual expectations.
Okay.
To see the level of compatibility.
Allow me to cut you short. We just go for commercial break, then we'll come back.
So,
Calvo Mistari featuring Hussein Machozi Datisha, and it's taking us to 3:02 p.m. East Africa time. I just love the internal discussion. I wish sometimes we can go on air with so many things. Anyway, Hero Radio 99.0. This is Hero Drive under the Vobic's Palace. With me, Kate Vobic.
and Councillor Sam here.
Mbako mwendaji na Dr. Love.
No, Dr. Love. Dr. Love ni Mimi. The only Dr.
And
Love in
Madam
Nakuru
Anne.
County.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
I know time is not on our side. We have to call it a day, but we have to call it a day in a nice way.
Wow.
But promise the listener, Anne, will you be here on Wednesday?
I will.
We have to continue with part B because there's something you are saying. What qualifies you to be a girlfriend?
A girlfriend.
I think now we'll start from there. But if you don't mind, you can give us tudogo twende tu tukidigest mpaka next week.
Kate,
Yes.
I just realized you forgot the name Dr. Love. Simply because I'm telling you the truth.
No. I
It's
allowed
okay.
you to introduce yourself. You
I
introduce
under-
yourself
I
as
under-
Councillor
I
Sam.
understand.
Dr. Love, you're telling us the truth,
I
but we are
understand.
also telling you the truth
I
about
understand.
ourselves.
Each individual's presentation is always rational since they have explored and decided this is what I want to say. Now, there's one thing I want us to understand, and our listeners too, that the way we prioritize issues in a relationship is totally different between men and women. Number one, I'll give an example, and this is where maybe I will really encourage ladies and guys to really understand how to understand or how to go about negotiating about these differences. There is a huge incompatibility in terms of emotional priorities. You will find a guy's number one priority is sex, but a woman's number one priority is passion and affection. So these two will only go hand in hand if both of you decide to sit down and understand how affectionate am I supposed to be to you as a guy, or how would you want me to be giving myself in for sex to you as a guy. Because now I've had issues with ladies where they tell me I am there, I've even been intimate with him, but he doesn't seem satisfied. What should I do? What should I do? Does that not mean I am giving him everything he would want from a girlfriend? And the guy is here wondering, this lady is just in for sex. He doesn't want to like be around me when I'm watching TV, I'm enjoying my TV show. He doesn't, men are so recreational. Women, are so, they love taking care of issues. That is why you'll find when a lady and a guy are having an argument, it is easier for a guy to continue arguing. No, it is easier for the lady to continue arguing and the guy keep quiet. Because ladies love expressing themselves. Now, when you are in a dating and he's not introducing you, and you want to know what things should I do for me to actually now understand, I've reached a level where I feel I'm safely in a relationship that I'm being considered or recognized as a girlfriend. Number one, make him respectable. If he feels he's respectable, well and good.
Let me take you back a little bit.
Yeah.
You said that about the priorities.
Yeah.
The lady will want to feel, some compassion, some
Passion,
affectionate,
Yeah.
and the man will prioritize everything on sex.
Yeah.
Does it mean for men everything revolves around sex
It's
in a
not that.
relationship?
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
What happens with men, their first emotional reaction to a lady is sex. Women's first emotional
That is the
reaction,
first thing that occurs to them
definitely, to every man.
automatically.
It's actually not even automatic. That's how they are.
That is
their
them. That's the nature.
That's their nature. He will look at a lady, and as he processes every other detail, he'll have thought about sex first. Okay? Then the lady will look at a guy and she will be like, okay, that guy is caring. He seems affectionate. Yeah? So until you prove he's affectionate, he's not affectionate.
Can you call it a day? Can we just call it a day?
I would really want to continue so that at least the ladies can get to understand exactly how to, I told you, Kate.
And that's
time
why I told you
men-
pinpoint. You started explaining.
Men are not difficult. They are just uniquely different.
And ladies are not difficult.
They are also
So you
uniquely
say
They are uniquely
different.
Okay,
So
let me
can we
now.
understand these differences?
So let me allow you to help ladies in 2 minutes. You said make him feel respectable too.
Make him feel comfortable around you. Do
You
not
will
embarrass
explain
him.
next.
Yeah.
Nini.
Yeah. And number 3, always be proud of him. It boosts his ego.
Na amekwambia
Thank you.
wanawake wafanyangi hizo. We keep doing that and me I expect
Hizi
things.
ndizo vitu tumejaribu.
Anyway, thank you so much,
Maybe you want
Dr.
to know
Love.
how you do them next time.
Thank you so much. And to the listeners, I know we cannot be able even to tackle because I can see so many questions here, Dr. Love. People are just crucifying me for trying to tell you bye-bye. But to the listeners, we are going to continue with part B of this next Wednesday. But in case you just want to have one-on-one interaction with Dr. Love,
Yeah, you can always get me through my number 0723 793 414.
nilikwambia upeane kama mtangazaji.
0723
Yes.
793 414.
Where?
You can always find me at Wilma House next to Family Bank, Kenyatta Avenue, second floor, room 202.
Okay, remember to the listeners, you're calling him official hours. And in Kenyan terms, official hours is from 8 to 5.
Yeah.
That is official
All
hour.
the other hours, I'm close to my dearest wife.
Do you introduce her?
Yeah, I
But
will
then do you introduce her to
Actually,
everyone?
Imagine,
Eh.
everywhere I go with my wife, I always tell her, would you like to know one of my friends? And she's like, yeah. Even if it's a lady, I'll always introduce her.
And your last word to the ladies who are listening to you, then we'll continue next week.
Let me just tell the ladies there is still hope for us. The best thing you can do to yourself is encourage yourself. Jitie moyo katika Bwana. There's hope for us, and we hope with Dr. Love here, he's going to take us through the steps that we are supposed to go through, just to help us, realize what we have not been doing right, and come to the knowledge of why our men are not introducing us to their friends. All of us want to learn.
That's true.
And I believe with open minds.
So let me just explain this to the listeners maybe who thought Dr. Love is being harsh on them today. Better the truth that hurts.
Sure.
And
Correct.
definitely just getting it the right way.
Correct.
And he's the love doctor. And he'll remind me. Your last word to the ladies. Then we meet
I would
next
tell
week.
them that without them, men would not be happy. They
Oh,
should be proud of
yes.
themselves.
You can say that again, Daktari. Please repeat.
Anne, are you in denial?
Please repeat.
Yeah,
Without us.
Yeah, without the ladies,
Yes.
life is not interesting. They make us happy.
Okay, thank you
Thanks
so
a
much,
lot.
Dr. Love. Thank you so much, Madam Anne, for making it possible. And to the listeners, thank you for being part and parcel of the Vobix Palace. Remember, the interaction continues on Facebook. Go to our page, like the page. You can ask Dr. Love anything there.
Kate, before we leave, I have just remembered that there are some 2 guys who told me to greet them on air.
Please do.
Saimo and Mose from Bizlink, Namai. Hi guys, and I hope you're treating your ladies. Introduce them, please. They want to feel introduced. And also Pastor Alfred, a friend of mine from Eldoret. I hope you have done it.
Okay, thank you so much to the listeners to Patane after this music break.